the fact that I love you as a business partner is just sort of like the cherry on top of me loving you as my husband.
Share that space with you where you're like all channeled and all focused, making things happen. I get a lot of inspiration from that.
But it's like when your partner is your work colleague, then how do you bitch about the
I feel that sort of gets to me sometimes. I feel thoda icky about it. Sometimes we still get called off as fake. People go like, why are you guys scripting and doing these things? How has it been to not let those words come into this relationship?
It's been very easy because I know us. I know myself, you know you, we know each other, and we know what we share. Hey everyone, welcome to Dream Creator Diaries, a podcast where we get real on what it takes to actually build your dream life using content. My name is Prachi.
And I'm Harsh. We are partners in life and business. For the last 4.5 years, we have been figuring out how to grow online, monetize our Instagram, and turn our personal brand into a full-time income.
And that's why we created Dream Creator Academy, which is our platform where we help beginners like yourself figure out this whole world without losing your mind in the process.
If you've been on the lookout for the real behind the scenes of content creation, building digital products, turning your personal brand into a full-time income source, then you're in the right place.
Awesome. So today we're actually diving into what it takes to build a business like this with your partner. We're going to talk about how do we as life and business partners work together, gel together, and how do we maintain boundaries. So basically what it takes to be a couple influencer. That's what we're going to dive into today.
I love this topic. I love Prachi and I love the fact that we get to work together at the same time, be together. Let me start this off. How does it feel to be married to your business partner?
For me, it feels really nice. Obviously, I love my husband, but I also love the business partner. I feel like you have to be in business or you have to work with people that you do like and enjoy. If you don't like your associates, your colleagues, your business partners, whatever, you're not going to have a very successful business or a very successful tenure at that company. So the fact that I love you as a business partner is just sort of like the cherry on top of me loving you as my husband.
Aww.
So it's really awesome. Of course, it comes with its challenges, which we'll dive into, the nuances which you don't get to see on Instagram. We're going to dive into that today. What do you like and also dislike about working with me?
Exactly what you said. I'm just going to like copy paste. I just love the fact that I get to work with you because I have always seen you when we started dating. I would see the way you would operate at things, how you do college work, and like the passion you had, the driven focus you had towards doing anything in life. And to share that space with you where you're like all channeled and all focused, making things happen, I get a lot of inspiration from that. And yeah, it's a huge bonus that you're this amazing person and we're married and I love you. So it feels good to build this together. At one point, I felt like the lines between work and our life got blurry.
Yeah.
That's something we have worked on, and I feel like we've come a long way from that. But that was, I feel, a learning point where we would have our full day of work and then we would have dinner, and then slowly go like, hey, is tomorrow's content piece planned?
Yes.
And then suddenly you're like talking about work altogether.
Yeah.
But now we have like those boundaries, which we're going to talk about.
But wait, you didn't say what you dislike about. Don't be so diplomatic. Tell me what you dislike about working with me.
I think it is still the boundaries that sometimes, like, even though we have figured the boundaries get blurry.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just slips out of our hands, or we go like, we have got to do it and we have no option because there's a deadline we have to meet. And so then beyond 6 o'clock, we're still talking about work. I feel that sort of gets to me sometimes. I feel thoda icky about it, but it's work in progress, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You didn't ask me, but I'll tell you. The thing I dislike about working with you, and this is a very specific thing that I don't think everyone would relate to, but this is what I dislike, is like how we are work colleagues and then how we're husband-wife, right? Those are two separate relationships.
Yeah.
So it's like when you hate your boss or when you have a fight with your colleague, you come to your partner and you bitch about them. But it's like when your partner is your work colleague, then how do you bitch about the fight
There's no
that
escape.
happened? It's a good and a bad thing,
Yeah.
because then it's like I don't really have to bitch about it because I can just talk to you about it, because we share that level of our relationship as well, where I don't have to hide things from you. There isn't like a hierarchy, or there isn't like something I can't say to you like you couldn't say to your boss or your colleague. Like you can, because we are also this, we can also share everything.
Right.
So it's a double-edged sword, I feel like, where I can't also, just like rip, but then I also can very easily solve it out. So there aren't really fights, but then when there is a little bit of that nook-chook that happens, it's like a fine line to balance.
I love your honesty. I love how she just tells it as it is. So just to fill you guys in, do you know the story about the rabbit and the turtle? The race that they have? I mean, everyone's heard about it. If you haven't, you can just Google it.
The rabbit and the tortoise.
The rabbit and the tortoise. Like how one is like super fast and other is like slow and paced out, and how they complete the race. So in our relationship, Prachi is the rabbit rabbit and I am the tortoise. Now with that context, how does it feel to work with someone who is a tortoise?
That's a good question. And again, it's a layered answer because it's like you keep me sane, you keep me honest, you keep me balanced, you keep me on the earth, you keep me grounded. Because you know how I tend to like go from 0 to 100 very fast and I can get shit done like this before you've even like woken up. I've gotten like 10 tasks
Today morning.
knocked off. I can do that, but then leads to burnout really fast. You know, Usain Bolt, who can run like really fast, the fastest man on earth, but he's not gonna really win every marathon because the guy runs really fast. For a marathon, to win a marathon, you need to like pace yourself, you need to like slow down sometimes, you need to maintain a pace rather than just go really, really, really fast, because then that just leads to burnout. Your muscles can't really carry you. So that's how it is. Because you're slower compared to me, it sort of reminds me to like, okay, even if I rush and complete everything, I still have to wait for you to catch up. So there's no point in me rushing all the time. I can take my time and I can slow it down. So that way you keep me grounded, you keep me like balanced, and you bring me back to earth. But then sometimes it's like,
Pick it up, Harsh, come on.
Yeah.
Let's get this done now.
yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm waiting for you to catch up to me. How does it feel for you to work with someone who's a rabbit?
There's so much energy to feed off, firstly. Like, you enter the room and she's in her zone. You're like, oh, damn. Get ready, Harsh. Okay. Yeah, it feels nice to pace myself because that's how I am. If I didn't have you, like, who gets work done like ASAP, I wouldn't be as driven as I am. I would be the lazy, chill guy that I am. While it's cool to hang out and be at the beach and just enjoy the sunset, but you got to figure out what you want to have for dinner, right? So if you don't have a rabbit on the team, you will never know what you're going to have for dinner. You'll just have food at the shack, which is not the best food. Such a personalized example because we are in Bali right now. But yeah, I guess that when you go and you complete a task and you like assuming that there's a path that we're running across, you reach a certain point and I'm like doing my thing, but I see you. I'm like, oh, there she is. Let me just like pick up my momentum and get there. And I'm like, I'm seeing some goals and some targets that they've set for me. So I feel it really works in my favor.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I try too hard to catch up with her pace, I get burnt out. And I've done that in the past. And I was like, dude, I got to like find a sweet spot where I can match up with her or like get to where she is without over pushing myself.
Also, it's taken us some time to like understand each other's working styles, because for the first 4-5 years of our relationship, we were just in a relationship. We were typical boyfriend girlfriend, and then we decided to add this other element to our relationship, which is our working relationship. And then it's not like you just immediately understand each other's working styles and you just like immediately gel together. It took some time for us to set our pace, for some weird stuff to happen. I think that's the only time we've ever fought, right? When it comes to work.
Yeah.
The first 5 years of our relationship, I don't remember ever having like an argument or a fight. The one time or the few times that we've ever had arguments, it's been because of work.
Yeah, because like the tempers sort of run high because we work differently while we love each other. And this is such a gray area which you have to figure out with your own partner if you're working with them, is that you love each other, but then there are different working styles. Like now, this is one thing we spoke about, is being at a different pace, but also opinions differ. Like what I like, she might not like. What she likes, I might not like. How do you find that middle ground so often without actually coming off as rude or without hurting their feelings? Empathizing with them but still saying your point clearly. It's taken a lot of like us doing it. The majority of the little fights that we had, yes, we have had fights internet, yes, I guess. It has been work related because there has been clash of the two different working styles over here. Yeah, I think that's what we spoke about the other day as well, right? In our relationship everything's nice, but as soon as it's something work related, it feels weird, or something became off, or like something wasn't completed, and then we don't say it in the moment, and then it just like held in, and then we go like, ye nahi hua tha isliye I was feeling thoda messed up. And then we both behave thoda off, and then we come back and cuddle. Solution. Always cuddle. That's the ultimate solution. You need 12 hugs in a day to feel good. So hug your partner or hug the person sitting beside you.
Like you can't be mad at someone you're hugging.
Yes,
it just doesn't work like that.
Just go and hug them.
As soon as you hug someone and like cuddling and talking, you are in a calm space to like discuss. If you're like far away from each other and like sitting on opposite ends of the table or opposite ends of the sofa and trying to like, the more distance you have, the more chances there are of tempers running, arguments becoming fights. I think that's a life hack. Just cuddling and fighting so you solve your issues like this.
I think that's a good one. Yeah, just cuddle. Sometimes Prachi just comes and sits in my lap. Like after 1-2 hours of whatever we had, I don't even know how to describe it.
It's not a fight.
It's not a fight?
It's more so like a disagreement. Because it's not even an argument. It's not like if I want something and you want something and then we're just like ade away on that topic for 1 hour, 10 hours. Like, no, I'm just like, aisa yoga, and you're just like, aisa yoga, aisa nahi hota. Both of us are flexible. Sometimes you give in, sometimes I give in. So it's not even, I don't know, what do you call it? How do you say it?
Let's not call it that. Let's just call it
miscommunication.
For which we communicate further and resolve it.
Yeah.
So there's always a workaround. So yeah, whenever that happens, Prachi sometimes just comes and sits in my lap after 1-2 hours, and then I go like, I'm sorry. Prachi goes like, I'm sorry. And then we're like, no, there's nothing really to to be sorry about, but it just feels good to share it out. Okay, cuddling is a great solution. What do you think about giving space to each other when you're working together?
I think it's important. You do have to have your own space. Sometimes, like, we just in the morning we communicate, like, okay, these are my tasks, these are your tasks, this is what we're working on, this project needs to get wrapped up or whatever. And then I go to the cafe and work, you sit at home or work, or you go to the co-working spot and I sit at home and work. And then we give each other space to do our own thing so that we're not constantly like checking with each other, like, kitna hua, kitna hua.
Yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes when I do that, when I'm asking you, did you do this, did you do that, it sort of feels like nagging, but I'm not really trying to nag. I'm just trying to like get like a timeline on, okay, how much work is left in the day, when can I wrap up? But then it's like, if you don't have space, then it can feel like a bit overbearing. You don't ever do that. I know I become overbearing, so it's not like you become overbearing, but I know that I become overbearing, so I need space so that I don't become overbearing. I think that's a level of awareness that you have to have within yourself, to not just like look at the other person or like your partner and be like, okay, this is his fault, this is her fault, but like look at yourself and be like, where am I being bad partner? How can I improve? How can I become a better communicator? How can I improve this working relationship? I think that you need to have that sort of self-awareness, responsibility to, ask yourself those hard questions.
Very well put. I have nothing to add over here. I agree with you. Like, that space in small bursts, when you feel is right for you, you should just take it, I guess. And then if you feel the other person also requires it, just give them that. I feel it really depends from relation to relationship and from person to person. In ours, we have kind of figured that mix. We work on our own levels when we have to. We work together most of the time. I have one for you, and this is what everyone asks us. It's linked to work, but not directly. How do we figure money between us?
So between us, we share our business. So we are equal partners in our business. We have a business account that all this, income comes into. And then because we also have this modern business where a lot of our expenses are actually business expenses, because we create up content about those expenses. Like if we purchase an Airbnb or whatever, and then we create content in the Airbnb, or if we purchase a new camera and we use that camera to create content, it's sort of like is a business expense. So we just use our business account for those expenses, and then we have a joint account for like all our other living expenses. The money then just comes into the joint account, and then we have cards for the same account, so we use that to spend. For us, it works in a way where it's not like you contribute this much, I contribute this much. It's like 100% of the money is coming from this shared business income. That's how we
look at it. It's our money.
Yeah.
It's not like Prachi's or mine. It's ours. And it has been like that, I think, since the start, Even when we didn't have like joint accounts, or when we were not doing this, we didn't treat it like, acha, main itna bana raha hu aur mere mein se itna kat raha hai, to tere account mein se itna katna chahiye. That's such a weird conversation to have. I don't know how do people have it.
Yeah.
But it's never been like that for us. It's just like it's our money. We make it together. Even if we were doing two different things, like in a parallel universe, it would still be like how much is in her account, how much is my account. Combined is what we have. Like that would be our net worth.
Yeah.
And not like what is in our individual accounts. That's how we look at money as well in our relationship.
Yeah.
It's just our expense and our income.
Yeah, it's very simple the way we differentiate our money and the way we look at our money. But I guess when you're not sharing a business or you're not sharing your income, it can sort of become like a weird space for you to navigate. And I don't know how you couples do that. Maybe you can put that in the comments below for other couples to understand. Different couples look at money, but this is what works for us.
Yeah, we just operate very differently in that sense.
Yeah.
We just take it as, oh, you are our money.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask you this. If, let's say, hypothetical scenario, if there's two people in a relationship and person A wants to, start content creation, like a couple account or whatever, and person B isn't really into it, should person A force person B into doing this, or should person B come to the same level of enthusiasm as person A? And how does it work? Like, when should they get into this venture together?
Wow, you ask such good questions.
Oh, thank you.
Here's the thing I had learned, that you are the type of questions you ask. So when you ask good questions like that, you get really good answers. Hopefully I give you a good answer. But I feel that personally you have to respect each other's individuality, like who is who and what interests them. So say for example, person A wants to create content and person B doesn't want to create content. But person A is like, no, create content with me. We'll do it together, create a couple page. But person B is like, not my scene. What person A could possibly do is just get person B, which is their partner. Why am I saying person A, person B? Get their partner in one of their own content pieces and just create for fun. Not telling them to tag their profile, not telling them that you have to create a new account or anything. Just bring them in the content piece. Do it a couple of times to see if they were comfortable doing it. If they were and they enjoyed that process, maybe they themselves, like person B, will come to you and go like, hey, I enjoyed content creation and it feels good to see that we are inspiring other couples out there in whatever topic that we're creating content in. Let's do it together. If that comes naturally, I feel that's a a good fit, but to force someone to do it, I don't think is a nice call.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think because you think that, oh, all this couple content can get you XYZ or couple content works, or I don't know, people have so many opinions about it, and then they start to like fake it and they're not really being authentic about their relationship, and then they just try to like act about it. You can see that, guys. You can actually see when someone's trying to be fake and it's not real. The audience will understand that. So there's no point in you faking it or like forcing someone to do something that they don't want to do. So it should only be like when both of you are committed to it, because only then will both of you be working equally towards it. Because if that doesn't happen and one person is like, no, I will carry it for us, you'll start resenting the other person eventually, because this gets really, really hectic and you have to wear 10 different hats as a content creator. You have to be the editor, you have to be the videographer, you have to be the stylist, you have to be the makeup artist, you have to be the social media manager, you have to be a lot of things. And if it's just you doing it in your relationship, you sort of start resenting the other person for not contributing enough, even though the other person said that they don't want to do it. So it's like you have to be very careful before getting into partnership with your partner for a business like this, for a creative project like this. It can put a strain on your relationship if you're not ready to handle the pressure.
Very true. If you want to still get some support from them, you can ask for behind the scenes support, like help me with some couple of edits without any pressure.
Or like, help me, I'm going for the shoot today, come and just help me shoot it.
Yeah.
So it can be like, you can still be your own thing without making it a couple account, and just have your partner help in that case.
Also, here's something that maybe I just want to show you a mirror. You don't want to be so reliant on creating content only if your partner gets on board with you. In a way, what you're doing is projecting your insecurities to be online onto your partner. And like, if they don't do it, I wouldn't do it. So like, if that is a thought you have, that I will only be able to create content if they get on board with me, but I really want to create content, but I'm not doing it because they're not doing it, then you want to just look at yourself and just ask yourself, why am I saying that? I can create content on my own level. I don't need to put that sort of weight on them. That's a thought that's come across to you, that I'll only start creating content once they are on board. Maybe you want to go away from that and start creating content on your own level and see if they want to match you there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, exactly. This goes like what we were saying. Like, you don't want to put pressure on someone to do something that they don't want to do. Instead, just like be responsible. Look at yourself. Look at like, can I do it? Am I just asking for help even though I don't really need help, just because I think I need help? Like, you have to be really honest with yourself. I feel like if this is the kind of arena you want to enter and this is the kind of career you want to build, especially with being online and having so many people project their stuff onto you, you have to be like super thick skinned. You have to have a very thick skin to go through this.
Yeah. Coming back to a point which you said a few pointers back, is about being fake. We share ourselves candidly online. We keep a camera on everywhere because we just know that documenting little moments in your life goes a long way. It's such a small thing to do. But sometimes we still get called off as fake. And people go like, why are you guys scripting and doing these things?
Yeah.
Though we know that we are not scripting anything. We just like keep recording everything. Like right now everything's recording.
Yeah.
There's a phone camera there. There's a proper camera here.
Yeah.
We just document everything. So how has it been to not let those words come into this relationship?
It's been very easy because I know us. I know myself. You know you. We know each other and we know what we share. So what we share online is just like 1% of our relationship. We're not putting all the moments. You think we're being too cuddly? You guys have no idea how much we actually cuddle and kiss each other.
You
like,
can't handle it.
We're just putting 1% of our PDA online. We are extremely physically affectionate with each other. So what you're seeing is just a sliver of that. It's like, I don't care if people think that's fake or scripted, or like you're just getting me flowers because it works for camera. Like, you guys, we started just recording our relationship like a year ago. We've been in a relationship 9 years. I have like a whole chest this big at home back in Mumbai with all the dried flowers Harsh has ever given me. It's like a really big, like this big chest, and it's filled with flowers of the first 5-7 years. So it's like they don't see the first 5-7 years because we never recorded it, but they're only seeing the now wala, and they think that we're being fake. So it's like, it doesn't matter to me because I know ourselves. I know our relationship. I have that chest of dried flowers that tells me that this isn't just for show. It's actually how we've always been. So it doesn't matter to me. What about you?
Doesn't matter to me as well. It was like a fun question because sometimes I've seen that comment and I wonder like, are they really expressing their own life to us?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like people are just, saying things that they wish was in their life.
Yeah.
So they are hating on us, or they're, leaving big stuff wherever, or they're whatever they're doing. I feel like it's just a reflection of the mental space they're in, the kind of lack they have in their life, or like the things that they wish they had but they don't have. So they're like, how can they have it? How dare they? I feel like it's just more a reflection of them. It doesn't get to me, especially the relationship stuff. Like, it doesn't get to me at all. But all the other stuff does get to me. I don't have that thick of a skin. The relationship stuff doesn't get to me because I don't even have to.
Like once the camera is off, we, as Prachi said, there's so much PDA you can't handle it.
Like, I know we're not just being fake for camera. That I know in my bones. So I don't care. But then the other insecurities like my acne or like stuff like that gets to me because it's like I can't control my acne. So when somebody says something about that, it's like it hurts me. But it doesn't hurt me when they say about a relationship because I have
Like us, like
us.
we
Yeah, I
have
don't know
each
how
other.
to explain
yeah.
it. I don't know how to explain it.
I totally get it. Like that emotion is strong over here, and like we have been together for like 9+ years at this point. We'll be completing 3 years of marriage.
4 years of marriage.
We'll be completing 4 years of marriage in 2 months. Of married life in 2 months. Man,
It's okay.
we are a couple and we have our own thing going on even before we started creating content and sharing it online.
Yeah.
And for the longest part, we were creating travel content and we never documented our relationship. Even though now that we look at it, we realize people were looking at our relationship in those travels.
Yeah.
And in the last 1 year, we've just been capturing everything. And it's so simple to have a camera just pointed at you.
Yeah.
Like we've become so comfortable with it.
Very. I think if we have like some advice to give here to somebody who's like in a relationship, starting content creation as a couple together, I would suggest spend some time in your relationship, just the two of you, before you put it out there for the world to see.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a strong relationship and a strong foundation, like we had of the 5 years just to ourselves before we started, pointing a camera at ourselves, I don't know, it would have been really hard. Like maybe then the relationship things would have got to me.
It could be hard.
But because now we have a very solid foundation of our relationship and then just inviting the whole world to come see it, it doesn't matter as much because it's very strong. Like if you just got into a relationship with someone and it's just been 6 months and you're like, oh my god, we should totally travel and create content together, I don't know if I would recommend that. I would recommend you spending some more time, just the two of you, before you invite like the third person in, because those opinions, those criticisms and feedbacks and negative comments and DMs can actually impact your relationship if it's not strong enough.
That's right. There's this thing called nazer, and people ask us a lot, aren't you guys afraid of nazer, or the evil eye is what they call it.
Yeah, in India we call it nazer.
And every time we share our relationship online, things that we do together and date nights or whatever, people go like, aren't you guys scared about getting the evil eye, people sending bad energy your way? And I understand the concept of the evil eye, nazer. Like as Prachi already mentioned, having a strong relationship, having that foundation is so important when you put yourself out there, because it's like, okay, fine, let's say that the whole negative energy thing does happen. Someone said something about your relationship and it comes to you and both of you start discussing that. If it seeps through, like someone commenting about like, hey, I don't think he treated you nicely, and you took that comment from the internet and you went for dinner
And you brought that into your relationship.
you brought that into your relationship and went like, I saw that other person commented that you're not treating me nicely.
Yeah, how dare you not treat me
How
nicely?
dare you, huh? Why?
The other day we posted a story of like Harsh. He did this training with like a bunch of strangers and we posted a group photo of Harsh, right? And Harsh is standing next to this lady and multiple people sent us comments and DMs saying that Harsh shouldn't be standing this close to the lady. Like, why is Harsh so close to that girl? And we both laughed at it.
It's so funny.
It was
man.
so funny. But if you don't have a strong relationship, you could let that in. You could be like, wait, is my boyfriend really standing next to a pretty lady? How dare he? Like, I guess you need to have a really strong relationship so that you can laugh at stuff like this rather than let it impact you.
Yeah, people are going to project all these things. This was a very funny scenario. It's very recent.
Yeah.
Like we put this photo online and all these people are like messaging us and I'm asking Prachi, what's up with these guys?
Yeah.
I asked her, do you feel anything like that? She started laughing like, no, I don't know why people are saying this.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like then they have these thoughts in themselves. And if you don't have a strong relationship, all these doubts are going to like slip in and you start going to like overthinking and then the mind starts doing its thing.
Yeah.
And you go down a rabbit hole. There goes the relationship. But yeah, nazer.
But I don't think Nazar is real.
The concept of nazer is what I meant is the negative energy, and that negative energy is basically comments or words or people's projections. When that comes to you, because everything is energy at the end of the day, when you take that stuff,
Yeah.
like when you break it down to science, that's what I kind of believe in. Again, different opinions, but we find like a middle ground. We spoke about me being a tortoise and you being a rabbit, so that's like the pace at which we work. What about the different skill sets that we have? Like, how do you think that we have owned up to what you're good at, what I'm good at, and split out the tasks in this relationship, working relationship that we are in together?
I think it's super important to have things that you're both responsible for separately. Let's say I'm good at being the creative person. I can come up with ideas. I can edit content really fast. So I do that. And then and you're good at talking to people, working with brands, and like landing us money and all of that. So you do that. I think it's super important. You play to your skill sets rather than assign tasks based on what needs to be done, because then it's like it's not really that efficient. But then also it needs to be equally distributed so that both of you feel like you're both equally contributing. To touch back to what you were saying earlier, I don't know if you were saying in this podcast or like a previous episode where you were like you felt like you weren't doing enough because I was taking on so much load, and then that led to me burning out and then you feeling like you weren't doing enough. I don't think that's really healthy or like even feasible in the long term. You have to like responsibilities based on your strengths, but then also have equal responsibilities. So it's like you're kind of like both 50-50 contributing to the working relationship. Some days, yes, you might be 60, I might be 40, I might be 70, you might be 30, but like overall you want to be 50-50 in the long run.
Yeah, I think that's a very good split up actually. So firstly, you want to understand what you both are good at individually. So let's just take by example our relationship. Prachi's really good at editing and I'm good at the admin things and like what happens with finance and brand collabs. But if those tasks were just like I would only look at admin and finance stuff or brand stuff with full focus and Prachi would only look at editing, the load on Prachi became so much because there's so much content we are putting out and she reached burnout at one point. So what we understood after a point is that it's important to see that what we're good at, but at the same time understand that if the other person is getting overloaded and try to see if you can take that load,
them, yeah.
if you can support them. It took a while to understand this flow, to understand that okay fine, that I can support her in this way, and it's okay if you can't take the lead on it, you can just ask them. So just ask them that hey, I know that you have content pieces planned for the week and we have already shot say 20 pieces of content. Do you want me to edit like 5 or 10 of those? And the vision is there still, but you help in executing it. That way they feel less loaded, I guess. That would be like a practical way to implement this somewhere. So yeah, I think it's important to understand what you're good at the same time support your partner. We have a business, we have our content creation thing going on as well. We have a team in place now. For anyone building this up from scratch, say they're a couple and they are doing this from scratch, how do you think they could organize this, or where do you think they could organize it? Or like what are the key pointers you think is crucial for them to set in place so that things don't go haywire and it doesn't become like a finger pointing thing once things get really big?
I think like if I think of how we started, it was sort of like pen and paper. We would just write down our goals and we would write down our to-do lists on our paper and pen, but then it sort of got really big of an operation to just have on pen and paper. Then we started experimenting with like softwares like Excel sheets and docs and stuff to maintain stuff online, having a shared email account so that everything would come in and both of us could see it. You don't sort of like when you're starting, you don't realize how big this can get. You plan for the optimistic thing, but you don't really envision or even plan for like the big stuff to happen, right? Because you don't know what the big stuff looks like until it happens to you. But because we are on the other side now and we can give you advice, we'd advise you to be organized from day one. So don't do pen and paper approach from day one because it's not really, long-term feasible growth option. Be more organized from day one. Have like a shared hub somewhere online like Excel sheets works or Notion or Monday.com, or there are so many different like places for you to organize your business, because the sooner you can treat this as a business, the sooner you start seeing those results. If you keep treating it as a hobby, then you only see hobby level results. The moment you start treating it like a real job and a real business is when you see those real changes and shifts. So the sooner you do it, the better.
And you can use platforms which Prachi already mentioned. Pen and paper only goes so far, but if you can put it online and you have it, like I feel an Excel sheet, maybe even via Google Sheets is a good place to start. If you're good at understanding clean interfaces and you're aware about Notion, I think that's a great place to start.
Yeah, that's what we're using now and it's really good.
And that's very effective as well. But if not that, just create a WhatsApp group.
Yeah. Oh, WhatsApp group is also important.
Yeah.
I forgot. How did we not mention that already?
Yeah, a WhatsApp
We've
group.
had a WhatsApp group since the very beginning, so that our personal chat, like our phone number wala chat, is our relationship chat, and then the WhatsApp group chat is our business chat. So we don't put the business stuff on our relationship chat and the relationship stuff on the business chat, so we keep it separate. Yeah, how did we not mention that already?
It's really important, guys, because one point you're like, good morning, babe, I've reached the gym with kisses. And the second moment you're like, hey, is that content piece ready?
Is that invoice sent?
Is that invoice sent? And just imagine that in one flow. And like you don't understand, you're talking to your partner or your business partner. So yeah, we created this parallel universe, which we call our WhatsApp group. And the name has changed with time, but it's just both of us.
Yeah.
But anything work related, we throw it there. I guess that would be a great thing to do for you as well.
Yeah.
Don't do it on personal chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a WhatsApp group. You can put in all your work related queries, all that software, all the links there, and you can still be lovey-dovey in your personal chat.
So thank you so much for watching and listening. If you're listening on Spotify, we really enjoy sitting down around and having these chats because it's so natural, it's so normal for us. The reason we started this podcast was also because we just realized how cool our chats are and how they should just be recorded so that people get some inspiration out of them, and that's why we started this podcast. So if you guys liked it, please drop a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or whatever you have to do to support us. You know what you need to do. You've heard it a million times from a million other people, but yeah, it really helps us a long way, and it lets us know that chats like this are relevant to you as well.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
Bye.